a week or two ago, maybe. YouTube recommended this channel, Asmongold, to me, and he's reacting to things that the YouTube algorithm knows I would find interesting, and blah blah blah. And he's clearly blowing up a lot lately, and that's fine. I was subscribed, and then I unsubscribed last night. I don't think it's garbage content or anything like that. In fact, a friend of mine said, "Oh, you found that guy? I was watching him like for years, and his content, his live streams remind me of your live streams back when you were doing them, James. In fact, I like yours better, James." Of course, this is a friend saying that, but I just wanted to say though, it's funny when he's reacting to a video of somebody reacting to a video, and people who've watched me for a long time know the phrase going through my head right now, probably, right? I was looking back to see if you were looking back at me to see me looking back at you. This kind of inception of reactions has always been kind of funny on YouTube, and it's another version of politics. It's drama, and that isn't intrinsically bad. Clearly, YouTube doesn't mind it. You know, it's this whole. Before I say why I unsubscribed, and this is the video on the screen, and it's not terrible. Asmongold does something that really bothers me in this video, but I just want to say though that I'm gonna try to use a polite term for something I would usually just say off the cuff, which is let's say this self-reflexive circle of self-gratification. This he said about this, and she said, and then he said this about that person saying this. That's what really turned me off of going after my PhD in philosophy. There was far too much of that nasal gazing, self-referential, but going down rabbit holes that aren't clearly remotely beneficial to humankind. And this doesn't happen as often in STEM. Like the idea of peer-reviewed papers for other people to read and then react to. This is how you work towards settling the science on any given topic. And anybody who says it absolutely ever isn't. Anyways, and yet even in STEM, I've heard there's this German physicist who I've recently heard talking about this problem in physics, where there's streams of physics where it's like, why are we talking about this? Why are people getting grants to study this? Why are people getting grants to talk about other people's theories about other people's theories about that, when this particular stream of physics doesn't really seem relevant? It's also hypothetical, so I'm not saying all of physics is like that. Of course I'm not. But anyways, on YouTube, it's getting like that. That same sort of thing is happening. And yeah, in philosophy, I just refused to put up with it. Kind of like I had a professor that, he's a great phenomenology professor, but to see some of his papers looking at the phenomenological implications of the thicknesses of paint as applied by, I think, Renaissance artists, and how that says. This is philosophy. I can see the thicknesses of paint having some relevance in a different. Okay, whatever. Uh, so why did I just, after a couple days or a week or whatever, unsubscribe to Asmongold? He's reacting to another channel that I already saw reacting. Oh, no. I gotta figure out how to set up my premium in this separate account. Anyways, he's reacting to another YouTuber who I already subscribed to and like, Atozy, who's reacting to one of them prank people that do heinous, despicable, horrible, potentially life-threatening things to people. It's just a prank, bro. And this is a massive phenomenon, of course, on Twitch, on YouTube, on many platforms, of people doing downright despicable, terribly ill-conceived things for clout, for clicks. And this is one of the reasons, definitely, my best friend keeps telling me, you really do just need to take YouTube off of your resume. And I'm not going to go into all of that, how unfortunate that an entire platform or even way of, a side hustle or even a career for a lot of people is just thrown out with the bathwater because it's ruined by some bad actors. Anyways, this dude that they're reacting to, Some of the things he finally got charged. He actually, I'll give him some credit. This dude turned himself in after he took Raid off of one of the shelves, like bug spray, in Walmart, and then sprayed it all over the produce. It's the prank, bro. He's done a lot of other terrible things. What I didn't like, aside from, hey, I already watched my boy Atozi reacting to this. I like this Norwegian dude. I think he's Norwegian American. I think he's got a background in business, which is now more relevant to me than it used to be now that I've graduated from business school. Anyways, and he mostly keeps a straight face and deals with it for what it is, really despicable and indicative of something bad happening kind of online with netizens, whatever. And Asmongold keeps laughing, and it really bothers me. And I know there's such a thing as nervous laughter, and I can remember, well, what a coincidence, a Norwegian girlfriend I had many years ago. It felt like she was laughing, or at least devilishly grinning at me as she was dumping me. Man, wow. Anyways, it's not a Norwegian thing, because Tozy doesn't do that, but Asmongold just cracking up laughing. The thing that really bothered me is when the jackass, the just the prank bro dude, where is it? Takes a bag of ice, walks into the back of, I think it was a Taco Bell, and dumps the bag of ice into the roiling, boiling, oil hot deep fryer. And if any of you know anything about what happens when you mix oil and 400-degree plus oil and water, you know that's not anything to be laughing about. And this guy just, Asmongold, he can't stop cracking up. And later on in his video, he admits, "Oh, I didn't know that's what happens when you put ice in oil, let alone water, whatever." Okay, got it. You didn't know. So you shouldn't have been cracking up like that. And he's saying, "Oh, well, I would have found this so funny when I was 11. This kind of content. This content is made for kids." Why are you laughing now, bro? Who did a reaction to Asmongold reacting to something else, calling him out? No, Asmongold did a reaction to Tim Pool's interview with Adam Conover. And Asmongold, am I saying his name right? I've barely even been subscribed to him. Yeah, Asmongold is calling out Tim Pool for getting upset with the guy. And it's like, what? Is that really worth calling out? Adam Conover was clearly trying to be antagonistic, at least on some maybe subconscious reptile brain level. So I'm calling out Asmongold, and maybe I can get on the carousel of reactions to reactions to reactions and get a shout out from this guy, because that's a career maker. I'm under no illusion that I'm going to ever make a full-on career of YouTube, okay? So don't worry. But,
That's it, yeah. Bro, imagine getting banned from a donut shop from the police. You're gonna be a straight up clown for that shit.
By the way, this guy is 28 years old. Dude has a fully developed prefrontal cortex, yet for some reason...
Who steal Derek Zoolander shit? Oh, he walks out of the Jack in the Box and the alarm's going off. After I just inconvenienced a 53-year-old Jack in the Box worker. This is gonna take them 20 minutes to fix my problem.
no, Asmongold. And again, he understands later when Itosi shows what happens when you dump a bag of ice in a deep fryer. 20 minutes? No. That whole restaurant is going to be shut down and could potentially burn to the ground.
This is what happens when you put way less ice into a frying machine. And of course, this happened at a Popeyes as well.
Yeah.
For people who work at Popeyes.
I like the look on Asmongold's face. Oh, wait, what actually does happen? Yeah, the ice just doesn't gently melt.
Guys, man.
What happens? I don't even know. Oh, yeah.
I mean, hey, that was pretty much best case scenario
Oh,
right there. And
yeah.
that was with way
He's
less
cooked.
ice. So it's safe to say
I didn't even know that could
you don't
happen.
need to be a rocket scientist to realize how bad this could have gone. There is no way they didn't have to shut down the kitchen after Wolfie did that. Because I did go on and find another video where they
Never
put
mind. That's more than 20 minutes.
roughly the same amount of ice as Wolfie put into the fryer, and here
Okay.
Right. There you
Oh,
go.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably had to shut that shit down.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
that happened. And I mean,
Anyways, I didn't actually show the actual clip of the jackass clown doing it, and I don't even, well, I guess for the sake of completion.
People think that they're on a private server, man.
Right.
This is crazy. This is perfect for teens? No, this content is great for, like, little kids. Like, little kids love shit like this.
And let's be charitable. He's not saying great as in little kids should watch this, but great from the sense of marketing stuff and picking an audience, I guess, on social media. Great in that sense.
This. At least some of them do.
What tacos at the egg roll? Hey!
That's who I feel the worst for, is this poor old dude working right there, right beside it. Maybe he doesn't even know what happens, but he will come to know. I'm going to leave it there. This is also, this video you're currently watching is also just me testing things out. I finally set my Stream Deck back up. I'm using a newer computer than the one that I used to always use. It's back there somewhere to do all my content, those 300 plus videos, those weekly live streams. Back a couple years ago, before I escaped a certain nightmare hellscape, and then I started working, and then I did this recent college program, but I still want to, there's still so many people that would like to see my content. And as I said recently, a lot of it will be behind a paywall. It's just a good idea for so many reasons for me to do that, but there's going to be ones that are occasionally still free for everybody, of course, and there's reasons for that. Well, I'm testing it out here, you know. I want to see if sometimes when I was playing that video, if it was feeding back into my mic, if I have to. I'm not going to talk shop. Okay, so just doing a little bit of a test run here. So I got this newer computer. Well, I got this newer computer last fall, and I never really set it up for making YouTube content, and there's a heck of a lot more to it than you might realize, especially if you want to have more, you know, quality, a lot of quality. And James, what's with these? Yeah, staring at the computer screen day in and day out for, I guess, decades. There's something wrong. I'm not going to go into it, so I just have to, James, see a doctor, see an ophthalmologist. Yeah, I know ophthalmologists in this town, but I'm not going to talk about how I used to live in another place that was missing a lot more than just ophthalmologists. Anyways, let's not go there. Moving on. Again, if you want to catch my weekly live streams starting this week and from now on, yes, I'm getting back into them, but they're behind a paywall. You can click join, the join button next to the subscribe button, and choose the second tier or the higher tier if you want. And there's reasons for that. It just makes sense. There's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not going to bother going into it. So I hope you found that interesting, and like and share and subscribe, and yeah, let me know if there's any technical difficulties. Was the audio terrible or whatever? Working through things, getting back some momentum, and onwards and upwards, and don't fall into the relentless circle jerk of academia. I'm going to talk about how college wasn't like that at all. None of that self-reflexive nasal gazing. Cheers, folks. Bye.